what's that S25 Edge? Epstein didn't kill himself. Whoa, you are edgy. That's right, folks, we finally got our hands on the Galaxy S25 Edge, whose main claim to fame is that it is like the Galaxy S25, packed with all of that AI goodness, but edgier than ever before. Actually, there are, ooh, wow, it is skinny. But I have to say, I'm a little less impressed than I would have been if I hadn't been playing around with my old phones the other day and picked up an iPhone 6S and gone, well, what happened to modern phones? They've really gone to seed. Even picking up my Note 9 compared to a lot of modern phones makes me miss the days of slim, sleek devices that performed pretty decent, but kind of had mediocre battery, and Samsung is here to answer my call. On the surface, there is a lot to like here. Okay, the camera bump does make it actually a little bit thicker at its thickest point compared to my Note 9, but if you look at the actual thickness of the body, that is darn impressive. Like, we finally got a phone that is thin enough that they can actually justify not having a headphone jack on it. Congratulations, industry, and I gotta admit, in the hand, I kinda like it. Like, do people kinda hate this thing? Because I feel like I'm gonna end up contrarian here. You've got all the usual I/O you'd expect. We've got our lock button and volume rocker over on the right. A whole lot of not much going on the left, so you never risk accidentally mashing a button on the opposite side. Noise canceling mic on the top, and USB-C, SIM card, and of course, speaker on the bottom. That is really skinny. We've got a 200 megapixel wide angle with 2x optical zoom quality, which basically means it doesn't have an optical zoom. We've also got a 12 megapixel ultra wide and a built-in flash, and that pretty much does it for the outside. Wow. That is a really slim bezel on an absolutely gorgeous display. It's just 6.7 inches compared to 6.9 inches on the full-fat Galaxy S25 Ultra, but everything from the adaptive refresh rate up to 120 hertz for nice, smooth scrolling to the advertised 2600 nits peak brightness appears to be right in line with its bigger brother in terms of performance. In fact, we actually found that with auto brightness enabled, we were able to exceed 2600 nits, and we regularly saw well in excess of 1000 nits when playing back HDR content. And in the brightness boost mode, even SDR was getting as high as around 700, 800 nits, I think it was. Dude, it's so light and the bezel is so small and the image quality is so good. It feels like holding a little portal into whatever it is that's happening. Do people not like this thing? Okay, they're not that impressed? Dude, kind of love it. I mean, there's still things that I would want to fix about it. You know, love it if it had a headphone jack, but like, this is awesome. Yep, that's an HDR display, all right. But what did it cost us? We'll talk about what cost us.
Wait, Linus, I'm gonna let you finish, but dbrand paid us to interrupt and let you know about their easy apply prism screen protectors and thin, transparent, durable ghost cases. But instead, I'm gonna show off this sick card dbrand sent us, each personalized with their name and loaded up with some cash to spend on their site. I'd definitely grab a prism and ghost case if I didn't already have one, so screw it. Maybe I'll grab another pair of some more glow circuit skins too. Anyways, go to mybossesveryshort.com and pick up some for yourself too. Okay, Linus, back to you.
Ah yes, the first thing it cost us was battery life. Instead of the 5,000 milliamp hour battery on the S25 Ultra, we have a very similar SoC, but with only a 3,900 milliamp hour battery. This resulted in both a proportional difference in recorded battery life during our video playback test, as well as slower charging speeds compared to the S25 Ultra. It should be noted that our tests were done on the S25 Ultra back when we got that phone, and we don't have it anymore, but it should give you a rough idea of what to expect. Another thing it cost us was performance. While it has the same 3nm Snapdragon 8 Elite and 12 gigabytes of memory as its bigger brother, and we can see that in any sort of short-term benchmark runs, as soon as we threw 3D Mark Wildlife at it, which runs over and over and over again, you can see that the performance drops off substantially. And this is just down to not being able to fit as much cooling into a tiny, svelte little phone like this. But I'm not even mad about that. You know, you knew there were gonna be trade-offs, right? Like, am I mad my wife doesn't run marathons and powerlift? No, she's good at lots of stuff. Like, Everyone says her voice sounds nice. Maybe this has the same advantages.
So the machine itself opens up like that.
And speakers, maybe they're awesome for their size. Let's see. Stereo speakers, not bad. Not as good as some of the bigger phones on the market, but considering its size, honestly, I'm actually really impressed. That's very usable. What about the camera? Okay, cool, do my classic photo. Look at that, let's see how edgy you are. See, Belle, would it kill you to be more like Reese and just smile for the photo? You know, you never smile for the photo.
He was smiling.
Well, yeah, I can't tell today though. Kind of washed out, honestly. This is not the best dynamic range I've ever seen, but I also do wonder if part of it is that it just decided in its auto exposure that it was really important to grab all the detail in this light. I mean, we're capturing everything, to its credit. It's capturing a lot of the detail. This is just the kind of thing I would definitely want to play around with in an image editor a little bit. It's amazing what a difference like 30 grams makes. Like, that's about the difference between this and other flagships, right? Just, it feels so slim. You know what? That's actually not bad. A lot of the time, Android devices just struggle with smooth panning. Honestly, pretty okay. How about the selfie camera? It's a video. Well, now we know what I never do selfie videos for these. Maybe I should. Choose a color tone. Yeah, natural, please. I didn't shave. Whoops. Well, now we know that. Also, I never noticed my ear was this pointy. That's weird. Am I the only one that thinks that's kind of weird? Let me look at your ears. I hate that the first thing Edit does is not markup. That's always what I want to do. I understand other people want to do different things, but I don't. I legitimately like miss One UI. Not because it looks or feels great out of the box, but they just mostly get out of your way and let you do your thing. Like I can be like, yeah, I want a huge grid for my home screen because that's what I want, and it is none of your business if that's what I want. Why is everyone doing the Apple thing now? We had a perfectly good thing going on Android where you could pull down from anywhere on the top of the phone and just all your stuff would be there. All your notifications and all your settings, but no, we have to do it the Apple way now because Apple doth saith so. Next, you're gonna take away my buttons. I didn't actually think about this before typing on it. Honestly, not that comfortable. Like it's really thin. It's like it's, you know, it's like farther away. You're kind of clawing a little bit more. It's not much, but it's so light. It's a little disconcerting, actually. It really is really sleek. I don't love the hole punch camera. I do find it quite distracting in full screen content, but hey, at least it's a lot smaller than like freaking dynamic island that Apple tries to sell as a feature. And there's a lot more to love here too. It's got support for Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 7. I didn't even mention wireless charging yet. Yes, it does support it. No, it's not particularly fast, but hey, at least it's as fast as the S25 Ultra. It's just something that Samsung has been pretty conservative about. The only thing people seem to be pretty upset about is the battery life. And I can kind of see where they're coming from. On the one hand, you know, given the SoC and the performance that's on tap here, it kind of is what it is. But on the other hand, if Samsung knew that they weren't going to have enough cooling for a top tier chipset, maybe they would have been better off going with a slower chipset, but one that could eke a little bit more battery life out of this smaller battery. The other thing that might have done is lower the price. At over $1,000 US for either variant of this, it's very much priced like a flagship, even though for gaming, for instance, it might not hold up against other flagships. I'll let you guys debate whether those trade-offs are worth it. For my part, I'm considering trying it. I'm still looking for a daily driver after all this time. I'm just not sure if, especially coming from the Pixel 9a, where functionally, I don't even think about charging this phone, if I'm gonna be able to handle this. Subscribe to ShortCircuit.